All right, good morning, guys. So, welcome back to what do we got? Episode number 12. We are going on day 22 here at the $0 to $1 million live stream challenge, where we are basically breaking down everything that we're doing to set up a new arm to our business. Dean is not here today, so it is just me, hence the late start this morning. But I'm going to hit our metrics, go over kind of what we're going to be focusing on this week, some of the changes that we made over the weekend, some of the things that we're pushing live, and I'm going to dive into a few updates as well. So jumping into kind of the metrics from this weekend, because we had a pretty killer weekend. We had a really good Friday, and we had a very good Saturday and Sunday as well. Let's see if I know how to do this. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. So Friday, we essentially had two new deals close, about $32,135 in revenue and about $15,821 upfront cash. Saturday, we had one more deal close, about $78.94 cash or revenue and $78.94 cash as well. And then Sunday, we also had a one deal closed because I had one sales calls booked and one completed for Sunday, which broke down to 81.27 and 81.27. So overall, the last 3 days from Friday, we had about 32,000 cash collected and about 50,000 in revenue come in terms of where we're at. So overall, kind of what we've noticed is our ads are starting to pick up quite a bit of steam. We're rolling out one more new funnel, which I'll show you guys here this morning. Similar concept to what we've been running with the low tickets. It's just a little bit more specific, and we're hitting a little bit closer to home in terms of who we serve. So it's not as broad as the other two assets that we're running for the low ticket funnels. It's a lot more specific, and it solves a very specific pain point for basically the target market that we like to work with. So with that being said, going over the overall metrics real quickly in terms of where we're at. So looks like just crossed the $166,000 mark for Rev in the past basically 15 days, about 106K cash collected. We've spent about $9,000 on ads. I don't have the updated leads as of the last 3 days, but we had a really strong weekend in terms of lead flow, and then outbound calls, booked calls, all that stuff I'm going to be filling in after we get off here. So we'll be able to see exactly what our numbers are. I think Friday was pretty stacked, and then my calendar as of today is completely booked out until Thursday. I know Dean's is as well. So yeah, I'm gonna get into some of the updates that we're gonna be needing to switch into in terms of what we're looking at with the sales team. Let's see here. So overall, right now, if we're looking at our metrics, let's see here. Cool. Lead booking, closing show. All right. So lead to booking percentage, we're at about a little over 11%, which is not at all where we want to be. We don't have any true setters in the sales process yet. It's something that we're going to be working on this week. I spent the weekend and built out really a bunch of scripts. So what I did is I took all of our past sales calls, so a few that are in the red zone, a few that closed, and then I took a bunch of the feedback that we are getting from the actual clients in the group, and I started putting together a talk track for outbound as well as our actual sales conversation. So I'm starting to get the scripts as well as our onboarding process and training together. Our overall show rate for closing calls right now, it's saying we are right around 60%. That doesn't include Friday, which we had, I think, 100% show. And then this weekend, which we had 100% show as well. So we're probably sitting somewhere around like 75, 80% show rate, which I'm happy with, especially considering, most of our traffic is cold. Let's see here. And then we've got offer percentage, closing percentage. So offer percentage right around 52%. Closing rate right now on the offer is about 52. So we're at about a 50% close rate, which is awesome. It's kind of where we figured we would be in terms of those that we make offers to, due to kind of really just what the offer is. Average sale price about $15,160, and then our cash versus revenue is about 63%. So feeling pretty strong there. For low ticket sales, we're about to cross, I believe, $8,000 or $9,000 with the just the low tickets in general. So we're pretty much on pace to match our ad spend. So right around 80 to 90% liquidation on that, which is really awesome. And then let's see here. Yeah, lead cost $32, cost per booking about $292, cost per offer made, and then cost per sales right around $824. That does not include what we would take out for liquidation. So if we move these numbers by about the liquidation average, which is right around 80%, so we're looking at right around $8 for lead cost. We're looking at somewhere around basically $40-$50 per booked call, and then our offer and cost per acquisition is right around a few $100. So happy there. Overall ROAS for the time being, once I input the other sales calls and the newer metrics, that'll populate. But as of right now, we're at about an 18.38 return on ad spend, so 18.38x, and on cash we're at about 12. So 12x cash ROAS and about a 18.38 rev ROAS, which is, again, something I'm pretty happy with. So with that being said, let's take a look at where we're at. Okay, it doesn't look like this is fully loaded yet, but that's fine. So in terms of our group slots, we filled the beta. So 10 out of 10 there. Early bird group, we're up to 11, so we're about to hit our 20 and then hit the price increase, which I'm excited about because we're at right around 40-50% close rate. So obviously we don't want to be there. We'd like to be a little lower than that, just in regards of price and kind of how that reflects against the close rate. So we're going to be adjusting that shortly once we hit our 20th member with the early bird group. So right about, I want to say somewhere around 25, 30 companies in the group. So right around probably 60, 70 members as of right now. Rolled out the setter engine mechanisms and foundational basically setup first. Then we set up our basically closer engine show rate, reactivation, and we've built a ton of stuff for overall system design, process mapping, onboarding. There's a whole bunch of other stuff in there. So moving pretty good on the actual assets. So the new funnel that we are going to be launching today, I will show you guys because I'm pretty excited about it. So we've talked a lot about speed to lead and kind of what that impact is. And when I was out in Paris, we talked even more about that. This is something that we've been testing for, I'd say, the last like 30, 45 days. And we rolled it out, to be honest, many, many times before that. We just didn't track it as well. And the impact is really, really strong. So one of the biggest things that came up over and over and over again for us was every time we were talking to individuals, specifically those that run pretty aggressive setter teams, is, speed to lead is important, duh. But there was no tracking for it. No one was actually tracking it. So what we're rolling out, which I'll show you here in a second, is the actual step-by-step setup, as well as the actual step-by-step setup for the tracking around it. Let's see what this other angle looks like. Nice. Okay. So with the new funnel setup, we're doing speed to lead. Let me get this URL for us real quick. Paste. Cool. All right, so basically what we've done is we've put together all of our step-by-step tutorials for this specific setup. So once people land on the opt-in page, which this is not, this is the actual training delivery, but the opt-in page will go to the purchase page will go to the thank you/VSL, then they'll be able to actually book a call with us. So that's kind of our structure on how we're running these. So the opt-in, obviously generate the lead, the purchase liquidates the ad spend, and then the obviously bookings are where we talk to individuals that want to basically further understand what we do. So once they actually purchase, they'll get delivered this. This is step-by-step breakdown on the speed to lead setup. So how to actually build out the workflows, the properties, the calculations, the delegation process, and then of course all of the reporting that goes along with it. So for example, let me duplicate this over, and actually let me make sure I don't show any important information here that YouTube might not like. So let me see here. Dashboards. Boom. Let's go to the speed to lead side. There we go. Cool. I'll be able to switch back. Nice. Okay, so this will be demo portal, so the actual information isn't, accurate for us, but we loaded some data in here, so obviously we can track it, make sure the reports are running. So basically, this will be step-by-step how to set up delegation, speed to lead average for this quarter, this month, this week, basically speed to lead buckets, so percentages of how well you're getting to leads in what time frame, the up or down percentage versus whatever the previous period is. For those buckets, so less than 24 or less than 2 hours, more than 2 hours, less than 24, a whole bunch of other stuff. And then we're going to be breaking it down by rep for this quarter, this month, and this week. So pretty solid setup. But essentially our strategy here is all of our clients, obviously they're either on HubSpot, thinking about HubSpot, or they are on like a GHL or a closed active campaign structure. And speed to lead is obviously super important. So this step-by-step training is specifically going towards those that are on HubSpot. So that's kind of the transition that we're making with the marketing message is instead of calling out sales teams and running the kind of baseline asset and the onboarding and training automation doc with the Google script behind it, which brings in a lot of individuals from a lot of different places in terms of sales teams. We're going to go a lot more specific to HubSpot and just kind of see what the difference is in terms of lead cost and overall, effectiveness of that lead flow, which I think it's going to be a lot better just because this is serving exactly what our prospects and clients out there need. So basically, once they pay, they're going to get this. We are trying something a little bit different on this one. So it's basically like a 48-hour fast launch that we'll actually go in and do it for them. So they just click here. It'll take them to a little bit of a bump order, and it'll be a 48-hour turnaround. So instead of them having to go through the tutorial, set it up, make mistakes or whatever the case may be, it's basically set up so all they have to do is click here, and then we go in and do it for them with a 48-hour turnaround plus a training call or an integration call, I should say. So basically our hope is that the individuals, because a lot of people will come, especially if we send out this training, do I send this to my ops manager, sales director? Do I need to do it? Whatever the case may be. A lot of times they would just be willing just to click here, pay for it, and get it set up and running right away without any kind of legwork on their part, and then just have us come in and train them quickly on it. So this is a new addition to kind of what we're doing. And then, the trainings are laid out. Down below talks a little bit more about what we do. They can book a call, and then we're actually showing them their metrics that we collect on them in our system. So we're showing them, for example, like when did they come into the system? Where did they come from? We'll probably throw some other ones in here, like the specific campaign that they came from, the purchase that they bought, like the amount of money that they've spent, how many emails they've opened, email clicks, the last email that they opened from us, our speed to lead with them. So for example, 27 minutes, right? The first outbound call date that we called them, and then their engagement score in our system. So it's pretty solid training structure, which is going to allow us to obviously deliver the asset, but then also continue kind of building the relationship and value with everybody that comes in through our front end funnel. So what we're hoping is that with this, we're going to be able to increase our ad spend, because right now we're basically spending anywhere from, I would say, like 300 to 500 a day on average, which is doing really well. I mean, we just went over the numbers. We're at a 18.5x ROAS on revenue and about a 12x on cash, which we think that today we have a pretty full calendar. Tomorrow we have a pretty full calendar. And then we also have a lot of people that we have follow-up calls with. So our probably true ROAS after this week will be sitting probably between 25 and 30x on the revenue. So obviously we want to scale, but we don't have the calendar space to do it. So we have to figure out a better way to really just bring in more, I would say, people that are already on HubSpot and are looking for that type of setup, and just that training and whatever the case may be, and see if we can make the calendar efficiency just a little bit better, especially as we're trying to now move forward with setting up the sales team. We've kind of proven the model. We're almost across our first benchmark. So in terms of revenue, we're sitting about 170,000 since launch. So there's probably another maybe 100K with the beta side that we launched before we actually started the live challenge. So we're not including that, but we're about to cross our first benchmark, which is the 250K mark. So we're pacing well, and we're scaling well. So we're kind of starting to hit that first kind of uptick with kind of the hockey stick in terms of sales and everything along those lines, as me and Dean just take more of these conversations, get more comfortable, figure out kind of what people are looking for. And then also, as we build out and release more of the content, it's just becoming basically easier and easier and easier to get a return for everybody that's been signing up super, super quickly. So we're excited about it. All right. So in terms of this week, so let me flip back over to our regular structure. Cool. Let me get this up. Put down my freaking coffee. No, that's not the one. Is that it? Uh-oh. Aaron's running the live stream by himself, of course. There we go. All right, perfect. So let me get out of this view real quick for us. Oh, man. Dean, I give you credit if you're watching this right now in terms of running this while we're in the actual live stream. Let's see here. Oh, what's up, Mark? Yeah, so Mark, if you're watching this, so basically what we're doing is, so we're launching the done with you side. So basically we took all of our, basically HubSpot build services, all the playbooks, everything that we've ever built, tutorials, trainings, documentation, and we basically built it all into a program. So we're training basically the operations, the sales director, the CMO, essentially all of those different individuals on how to actually do what we do instead of doing it for them. And when we were trying to figure out what we were going to actually do to, promote it, it was like, all right, we got to create a bunch of YouTube videos. And you remember with working with me with the YouTube stuff, it's hard to get me to do content all the time. So basically our idea was, all right, let's just go live basically every day, Monday through Friday. Let's go over updates, go over the metrics, go over what we're doing. And then that way we can immediately basically chop that up right after, drop it over to shorts, and then we can post one pillar piece on YouTube basically every week. So we're getting out about 3 to 5 reels a day right now, one live stream a day, and then one basically tutorial or longer format YouTube video a week, which has been pretty cool. It's been working well for us. So shout out to Mark and getting it started in the right direction on YouTube. And to be honest, Mark, shoot me a text if you're still on here. Would love to kind of pick back up where we left off and see what you might be able to do help with us now that we're actually really pushing YouTube. So, all right, great. All right, so let's get into this week. So, oh man, this is a busy week. So in terms of what I've got going on this week, we're launching the new funnel. We are taking what we learned from Paris, which is all the stuff we talked about last week in terms of testing 3 new ads every single day. So we're going to be starting today with 3 new titles and copy on one of our winning ads for each funnel. So we have 3 funnels, so this is going to be a pretty meticulous process, but we're going to be doing titles and copy on the winning basically ad creative that we have from previous. We're going to figure out which one has the highest basically click-through rate. That winner will on Wednesday basically get set up across a bunch of different creatives. So a bunch of different angles for the video, and we'll run all of those to basically see whatever our benchmark is, which right now we're doing lead cost or cost per acquisition on the low ticket side. So we'll be testing a bunch of different copy up until Wednesday. We'll be taking the winner there and basically taking that and split testing a bunch of creatives all the way until next week. And then we'll basically take the winner, roll it into our scale up campaign and ad sets, and we'll rinse and repeat that. So met with Cody this weekend. We got all of that stuff kind of hashed out in terms of how we're going to be running that schedule and then what he needs from me. So it's going to be a pretty heavy marketing focused week. I've got absolutely slammed calendar this week in terms of sales calls. Let me check Dean's calendar just so I can be clear on exactly what we've got. So it looks like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've got 5 today. Tomorrow my calendar is a little bit blocked, but I've got 3 tomorrow. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Wednesday, and then I've got 2 on Thursday and 1 on Friday already. So my capacity on my calendar is probably like 3 to 4 a day. So you guys can see we're pretty booked. That doesn't include Dean's calendar either. He's probably got 5 or 6 set up for basically Monday to Wednesday, and then it looks like Thursday he's already pretty much filled out as well. Friday will probably likely be getting filled after today. So we're full. So basically what I'm going to be trying to figure out this week is how to balance my focus is marketing, and what my role is within the company is, trying to take the founder hat off entirely and working with our CMO. So taking direction from him on what he needs me to do, and then just driving vision on the marketing front. So we had basically a 3-hour meeting this weekend to try and figure out, one, exactly how I can stop stepping on his toes, because I'm just a very much, grab it, do it, launch it type of individual. And what we're trying to get me into is taking direction from him so he can set kind of the marching orders and I can backfill on what needs to be executed along with him. So we're in a better cadence so we can maintain and basically get more done in less amount of time each day. Because essentially my schedule is I'm up around, 6, 5:30, somewhere around there. Get ready, and then I am prepping for the live stream, getting this set up, running this, going straight into my basically morning meeting, which is at 9. And then I roll into a content, course material, marketing, basically focused 2-hour block. My calendar opens up for about 2 hours from there, which is usually where I take my first, basically either client facing or sales conversations, external meetings, etc. And then the end of my day is basically blocked for a 3-hour working session starting around 5, 6 p.m. So I get a lot of my stuff done in the morning and then a lot of my stuff done in the evening. And it was interesting. I actually watched a video from Hermosi this weekend, and he was talking about the difference between managers and makers. And basically what he's saying is managers are obviously individuals on top of individuals. So think sales team manager. Their effectiveness gets measured by how filled their calendar is. So if they have white space, right, they're not getting a return on their time there. So they should be meeting with their reps, running their meetings, doing their role plays, doing their trainings, helping close deals, doing all these things. So they want a full calendar, and a maker is somebody who gets a return based off of what they produce. So for example, for me, it would be marketing or YouTube content or direction for the business or sales assets, onboarding, training, all the different stuff, course material that we're leveraging across our programs, products, marketing, etc. So for me, where I'm actually most effective is when I have an empty calendar. And obviously I don't have an empty calendar, so I have to either get up extremely early or stay up very late. Right now I'm doing both. So I'm trying to figure out kind of that transition. Obviously, as we start to develop the sales team, that's going to become much easier because the sales conversations will get taken away from myself and Dean. Dean will be able to go all in on the basically product as well as the higher level clients, so all of our elite members, basically make sure he's driving all the AMs and all of that stuff. I'll be able to go into basically 100% focusing on, not 100%, probably about 50% on marketing, 25% on obviously internal operations around that. And then about 25% probably product, which I'm really looking forward to. We're probably about 2 weeks out from that. I've got a call set up with an individual that we're going to be talking to in regards to help us kind of get the sales team together very, very quickly so that we can keep moving. Let's see, any other big updates? We are in the talks of launching starting development on our own basically SaaS platform, which is going to be very interesting and extremely beneficial for us and all of our clients. I can't talk about it right now just because, we're going to need a head start on everybody when this rolls out. And we already do, but at the same time, I'm going to keep you guys updated there because we are looking into the SaaS side. We're in the talks with a company right now, so we're going through scoping it out, figuring out cost, budgets, all of that stuff. So I'm pretty excited there. We've been wanting to get into our own SaaS product for a very long time, and we've had some very good ideas, and it is now possible. Let's see here. Yes, sir. Cool. Let's see what else we got. We're redoing our marketing tracking. We're going to be finishing out the mission to 1 million in 90 days. Dashboards. We're going to be moving a lot of what we're doing in the baseline tracker into HubSpot. So we're going to finish that out. We probably got about 50% there, which we'll show you guys throughout this week as we finish it out. We did sign some really big, very, very big clients over the weekend. So I was actually over at one of their houses last night. I was up until probably 2:30 in the morning. They're getting ready to do a massive launch. I'm excited for it because it is, it's going to be a lot of traffic, and they brought us on to kind of figure out how to best prioritize that traffic, the leads, make sure the sales team is dialed in, and then make sure everything on the back end is set up so they can do what they need to do with a relatively small team, considering what they're going to be doing. I mean, the traffic that they're going to be launching with is probably tens of millions of people. So it's pretty cool. Love those projects. It's a little different than obviously what I'm usually working with, but we have done a lot of launch setup before, so we're going to bring all of that into that relationship, which is really, really awesome. Let's see here. Boom. What else we got this week? I'm rolling out a new velocity mechanism. Not a new velocity mechanism, just an updated one for the program. So over the past like week and a half, I've been figuring out a process to figure out prioritization of leads, obviously throughout the funnel. So for example, wireframing, and then figuring out how the prioritization queue and the basically auto loader in the power dialer is going to work with different funnel structures. So for example, if somebody opts in, they fill out an app, they register for a masterclass, they attend the masterclass, they view a offer page, and they don't purchase, right? That would be like our top priority lead. So based on the number of steps in the funnel, we're basically setting up a score. So for example, opt-in +1, application +2, qualified application plus, I think, add another 2, registration for a masterclass or a booked call +1, attendance +1 again, right? And they go through that, and basically the top score will be the final drop off at the end of that basically process. So basically the setters will be prioritized with really high volume back forwards. So for example, if they are opt-in, application, qualified, plus they are registered for like a masterclass, they book a call but don't show up, those are going to be obviously top priority. We don't want the closers chasing those down, especially with full calendars. So those will go straight back to the setters as kind of the highest score possible. Those are must-have, speed to lead, immediately get to them, right? Figure out what's going on, get them reset. And it'll kind of funnel back down from there. And then as bodies increase, you can prioritize more of those leads further down the funnel. So it's if you have a ton of volume, you really have to think through, what do I want to make sure is number one target? And then obviously trickle backwards from that. So I'm basically building out a process to map all of that out, and just a quick exercise to be able to figure that out, and setting up the actual lead score to coexist with the actual prioritization queue in smart views, and then also the auto loading triggers for power dialers. So instead of setters having to think about who to call, they're just going to be clicking through their queues. So priority 1 queue, if there's anything in there, they'll power dial it, right? Priority 2 queue, if there's anything in there, they'll power dial it. And they'll basically be either double dialing, triple dialing, or whatever the case may be. The leads will disappear and then reappear based on when they need to hit that lead next. So yeah, just a really updated version for very high volume, basically sales teams. So working on that. I'm also working on a full, basically probably 2 hour long thesis on kind of our process and why our process works, how our basically engines and mechanisms and systems are all built, the process we use, all of this different stuff, and basically breaking it down into a long thesis. So anybody that wants to understand exactly how we do, what we do, the methodologies behind it, around it, it's going to be a very long, essentially pillar piece for us, which I've been working on for quite some time. So it's kind of just a compilation of everything that we've done over the last many years, and kind of where we're at today with really how we see things needing to be done when it comes to systems, RevOps, not only setting up the initial foundation, but then also solving for bottlenecks, scale, what to do after scale, and kind of how all of that stuff works. Yeah, it's going to be a really busy week. I'm going to be live streaming myself today and tomorrow. This morning was a little messy, obviously, because I got 2 hours of sleep, 3 hours of sleep, but also I was trying to figure out how the hell to use OBS this morning, right before we got started here. So yeah, guys, with that being said, hit the link below, drop any questions you guys have in the forum, and we are looking for guests to come on here in Miami. So especially while Dean is out, or if I'm out, we're looking to take guests. If anybody's watching this and they would like to come in tomorrow, shoot me a DM, shoot me a message. If not, I will see you guys here tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. We'll give you a full update on where we're at with the full breakdown of the metrics for the last couple days in terms of lead flow and everything else. Yeah, so with that being said, I will see you guys tomorrow. And let's see if I know how to close this thing out. I don't, but we're going to figure it out. Let's see. Oh, God. That's great. All right, I think this is it. So see you guys tomorrow. Peace.